First of all, listening for long periods of time was so fatiguing in the room. It's so bright. There's a lot of glass. You know, I put in cork floors because I thought that would help. But I really had space and glass and height and issues that I really didn't realize I had. So with the sound absorption panels, it's just changed the whole experience. It's given me depth in my music listening. It's certainly the bass is there, but I call it depth because I'm not a big bass guy to begin with. But the detail, I don't like to use the word soundstage, but just the musical experience alone, it's more listenable. The instruments sound more like instruments. We can accomplish more with what I have than this bright, brassy, offensive sound. And what was interesting is that no matter what I threw at the sound, be it the amplifiers, the cables, preamps, whatever, the results were always the same. Now, do I think that I need some other treatments in the room as well? I do. And we're going to address that. But I will tell you this, that after chasing the dream for 40 years, I finally bit the bullet and realized how important the room treatment and where I'm listening is. Yeah, well, I hope we can edit some of this out because I don't want to trash anything I have behind me here. But I'm after changing the room and after getting the room in a position and in a situation where I can listen, my speakers that I just bought are not acceptable. It's not what I want in a speaker. I'm sure it's what a lot of people do want. I'm looking for mid-range. I'm looking for listenability. I'm looking for color and timbre in the musical instrument. Now with the room treatment, this doesn't have anything that resembles what I think is good music. I'm not a rock and roll guy. I'm not a deep bass guy, and these are perfect for those people. For me, it's awful. So now I really feel that I can settle down and really focus on, okay, what is it about a speaker or a cable or an amp or preamp that will really give me the sound that I'm looking for? And I realized before that I could never find that because I didn't have the room or the acoustics that would tell me. And I again go back to the experience I had at the Musical Instrument Museum here in town. After going to concert after concert after concert, a guitar is a guitar, right? Wrong. Not until you hear a guitar or a voice that's in a room that's acoustically treated, and it just changes your whole musical experience. You know, Dennis, I'm an old-time audio guy. Started in 1972 with LS-35As and a Stereo 70, and loved music, mostly classical jazz. And you know, I've run the gamut over the last 40 years, and chasing the dream between equipment and cables and power cords, and you name it. But I finally, at this point in my life, realized something was missing. And you know, we live here in Phoenix, and we've got an incredible venue here called the MIM Musical Instrument Museum, and I've had the opportunity to go to a number of concerts there. And I finally, through that experience, realized that this room issue that everybody's been telling me about for 30 years is something to really reckon with. And you know, kind of the rest is history. I went online, started looking around, and all of a sudden I find a guy down the street, and here you pop up, and so that kind of developed our relationship from there. Let's start with the equipment. You know, I've got some good friends in the hi-fi business here in town, and so I had you know, I'm a tube guy and 300B amp and whatever, but, you know, I had them over and they were going to help me with some cabling, and, you know, the first thing they said when they walked in the house was, you can do whatever you want, but you got to do something with this room. Well, I looked around and I thought, it's either buy a new house or I got to figure something out. And so here's guys that have been in the business for a long, long time and understand the stereo business and sound, and the first thing they say is, I have a problem with the room. So another kind of an aha moment for me. And again, that's when I started searching, and you know, I got in contact with you, and I knew that I had a real serious problem here that had to be solved before I was going to put another dime in anything, mechanical, upfront, speakers, cables, whatever. Yeah, well, the space in the room is bad. Right now I have a pair of Usher BE10 speakers with the Mac amp, and I'm using a aesthetic phono preamp and an aesthetic preamp and an Aurora turntable from England. I'm thinking about going to a horn speaker, but the bottom line is, at least now I understand what has to happen in the room as far as acoustics before I can even start listening to a new speaker or cabling or whatever. So, you know, what you see here is what Dennis has built. You know, they're sound absorption panels. It looks like a TV behind me, but it's not. You know, we made a cover for the TV, and I've got two more cables, or two more panels in the garage. So basically what happened is that through what he's given me and what he built for me, I really begin to understand this whole issue of room and what happens and reflection and sound. And honestly, I still don't understand it, but I do know it sounds good.